Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a commander deck tech on the new commander from Jumpstart, Bruvac the Grandiloquent. What a name he has. Now, this commander brings some huge things. Mill is now a key word. We mentioned that during the spoilers. Everyone's excited. Basically, Mill is lethal with this guy. He's 3 mana, 1/4 Human Advisor. That will become relevant. If your opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many instead. And even in its description, it has still what mill is. So if you have cards on the table that haven't been errated, you can explain or debate with opponents, yes, this is classed as a mill, double up, son. But the artwork, the design, being an advisor, who does that play well with? The Persistent Petitioners. If you haven't seen these cards before, they're from the new Ravnica block. They are amazing and have any number in a deck you want, so we're running 29 in this deck. They're a 2 mana 1/3 Human Advisor, and they have pay 1 tap, target opponent mills 1 card. Not bad. But tap 4 untapped advisors you control. Target player mills 12 cards off the library, and any deck may have any number. These guys are the workhorse in the deck. They're advisors. Pretty much all the creatures are advisors unless they have really efficient mill. It's a very simple game plan. We're going to get at least 3 other petitioners out with our commander. We're going to tap him, and our opponent's going to mill 24 cards. The fact that in one activation, that's 24% of the entire deck, including the commander gone in terms of percentage, that is scary fast for a mill deck. Tools to the deck though, we have plenty of support pieces which just sit there and complement or punish our opponent even further through mill. Erosion, Corrosion, and Sanity. These guys are my favourite by far. Erosion, whenever our opponent's play spells after mill 2 cards, or 4th commander. Corrosion, whenever we draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Could be fun with our commander, but great in multi-buy games. And Sanity might as well double up how much opponents mill. The cursed player, at the end of their turn, they mill X cards where X is the number of cards put into the graveyard this turn. So let's use the last example. Your commander and your advisors activate, made them mill 24 cards, they're about to mill another 24 cards. In one turn, 48 cards gone. Ooh, that's spicy. We have the tutelage here. Same thing, whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards, and if they share a color, repeat. We've got Drowned Secrets. I love this card actually. I used to not be the biggest fan, but because we're mono blue, we have all these cheap spells. It's wonderful every time we cast a blue spell. Target player mills 2 cards. I love it, it's nice and cheap. Then Patient Rebuilding is the other end of this. It's far more expensive at 5 mana. But at the beginning of our upkeep, target opponent mills 3 cards, and for every land they mill, we get to draw a card. Just a bit of support in both directions. Alright, so other actual milling cards, Header and Crab. You gotta love him. I love artwork, he's so cute, he's doing his own thing. Landfall, target opponent mills 3 cards. Very simple. But I want to run the Iceberg Crab. Very similar concept, but any snow permanent enters battlefield under your control, target player mills 2 cards. So we've adapted our deck to make him work too. All snow-covered lands, and we have a couple of other snow-covered permanents which do work with the crab, and it becomes quite an effective little bit of mill. Chronic Flooding, if you've actually played with this card, it's really annoying. I hate it. My girlfriend plays with it in her casual 60, and it's so irritating. It just punishes you for using the lands that you need to use. You see they're off a color, or they're struggling, they've only got 1 mana source for that color, you put it on there and just go, sorry. And Traumatize and Fleet Swallower. We've got to talk about these. These are basically a one-shot kill with the commander, because they either mill half your opponent's deck rounded up or down. The Swallow rounds up, which would remove an entire deck in one go thanks to your commander. And Traumatize would leave a card or 2 behind being a round down. But still, it's an insta-kill. Your opponent's entire library is just gone. It's terrifying. Chase Memory Adept, a really common planeswalker in a lot of mill decks. Going 0 to make someone mill 10 is perfectly fine. But with the commander, 0, 20 cards, they're gonna be hating it, they're gonna be crying. And I love Archive Trap. You can pay 0 mana if anyone sets your library, which in Commander, let's face it, is very common. Target player mill 13 cards, but Commander at 26. If you could, for 0 mana, mill 26% of someone's library, just go, gotcha, that's, crippling. Right, onto supporting pieces. Now these 3 cards kind of do their own thing, go in different directions. Thrumming Stone is a must-have in any deck where you have multiple copies of these creatures. Whenever you cast one of those creatures, you have a chance to reveal through and find another one and cheat straight in. You can't really argue with extra petitioners to do more mill. Intruder Alarm sets up a really filthy combo. Every time one of your petitioners or any other creature enters the battlefield, can be your opponent's too, you untap all the creatures, meaning you can use their abilities again and again. So you can set up absolutely disgusting combinations. Your opponent playing a creature of a creature in the battlefield could mean death for them. You could reset your board again and do it again. So it has its pros and cons, the cons being, if your opponent never plays a creature, you don't get to untap your creatures, so it's got to be played in the right situation. Helm the Host, like I say, it's great in every commander deck, it breaks any commander. If you can have multiple copies of your main commander, You have more advisors which you can tap down for milling, and you multiply the effect of the milling, so you're going from 2 times to 4 times basically. That is scary. And we even get like supporting pieces like draw mechanics that are scaled on our mill. Visions from Beyond, if someone has graveyard 20 or more, we can draw 3 cards for 1 mana. It's pretty good. Wow, got dark. Into the story. It's 7 mana, but has a reduction of 3 built in if you're doing a lot of milling. Thought Scour, it's a cantrip that does mill and draws us a card. We can get little bits of support where we need to. I love Ristic Study, it's just a good draw engine, and most people just tolerate it. Just go, that's annoying, but let it be. Dramatic Reversal is kind of staple in the deck. You could put Isochron Scepter in here, but I don't really want to do the Isochron Scepter combos, but I've done them too many times in other videos. But at 2 mana, reset your board Petitioners and mill them again. And of course, if you see my channel, I run both my booties always to protect my commander and other key creatures. Okay, let's do what blue does best. Let's make people hate themselves on the board. Back to basics, the Mind Cage and Declaration of Naught. These 3 cards are toxic. Back to basics, non-basic lands don't untap during the control's untap step. Basically, our entire land base meets this requirement, so we're actually getting a benefit from going simple, plus the cost of the deck is a lot cheaper. But Commander, if they're a 2-3 color deck, God forbid they're a 5 color deck, this will cripple some decks. It might cheese your win. The Mind Cage, I've always wanted to play with this card. All creatures on the board get -X next 0 equal to your hand size. For 7 mana, yes, it's expensive, but we do not care about power at all. If you can nuke everyone's creatures and neuter them, make them not lethal at all, we can just do our own thing, we can sit there milling, and hopefully no one gets through. If you want something more effective, Propaganda would probably be a better option, but I really want to play with this card. Declaration of Naught, I'm going to name your commander, put this on the board, and I'm going to keep countering commander for 1 mana, because I hate myself. I want to play with it, but enchantment removal is the thing, but I'm going to give it a go here anyway. Of course, counterspells, we have to remove things that we don't want to deal with. Mana Leak, Counterspell, Arcane Denial, Disallow, and Swan Song are my options here. They're not too expensive, they're good, they're versatile, I can do what I want. There are other counterspells out there in Magic that have mill built into them, but they're all 3 and 4 mana. I personally would rather have cheaper counterspells that I can use earlier on to protect key pieces, rather than have that little bit of extra mill tacked on the end. Because your Petitioners and other parts of the deck are milling so much as it is already, I feel like that little bit won't be missed. I'd rather the efficiency side of it. And of course Cyclonic Rift, because it's best blue board wipe. Please reprint that thing into the ground. It's 40 bucks right now. Alright, onto the Mana Rocks. Sapphire Medallion basically makes your main workhorse of the deck only cost 1 mana. Do I need to say that's a bit broken? But a blanket reduction in your deck, you can't argue with that. We have Cold Steel Harp and Arcane Signet just for our coloured Mana Rocks. Because we're a monocolour deck, we don't need these massive colour producers or anything fancy. But note, Cold Steel Heart is a snow artifact, and it does work with the crowd as I mentioned earlier. And Soaring Enthroned Dynamo. Staples to the deck. Onto the lands, we run 27 snow-covered islands, and Scrying Sheets itself lets us look at the top of our library. If it's a snow card, we can put it into our hands. I'm trying to get through the deck a little bit quicker in a land slot. With a lot of snow permanents in the deck, I think we're at 29. We've got Myriad Landscape and Wreck Tower, just staples from the deck. You probably could cut Wreck Tower. The deck isn't a huge draw deck, surprisingly. The only thing to note here is Myriad Landscape. Get it out and activate it before you play Back to Basics, because it will get crippled by it. And I run a lot of land removal because I hate my friends. Stop playing Gaia's Cradle, I hate that card. Got Ghost Quarter and Strip Mine. I want to destroy any land if I have to, get them off color or destroy key lands. And Scavenger Grounds to remove a graveyard if we have to. There might be sometimes that you'll see something very spicy in the graveyard you don't want them to get back. And that's it. Bruvac is an amazing mill commander. The commander himself right now is like 40-50 bucks on pre-order. He will not be that. Once he comes out, gets opened, tons of packs cracked. Easy $20-$30. If you see other play, maybe, be careful. But he's definitely got a whole theme built around him. I love that his artwork, his subtype, his creature type all tie in with the persistent petitioners. It's all a great theme. I love it. And I love that mill has become the keyword. That really makes me happy. So let me know your thoughts, guys, about Bruvac. I reckon he's a great commander. I'm probably going to dismantle my Lazav deck to turn into this. Because my Lazav deck is just turned into black blue good stuff. I'm going to go back to my roots. I'm going to go full try-hard mill, and I might go this way. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts, and have a good one. Goodbye. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. Helps out the channel so much more than I can say. And if you're not subbed here, please consider joining my patrons. You guys are amazing. I hope everyone is doing safe. There are so many horrible things going on in the world right now. Just look after yourselves, please. Thank you.